Hello, I'm here in Oxfordshire today, in Bicester to be precise, to take you through a journey in the original time bubble. Yes, this is the location that inspired the books. So a little bit of background. I lived in Bicester for 26 years, and it was here where I began writing and wrote the first 2 or 3 books. And we're coming up to the tunnel, which was the inspiration for the bubble itself. Now, there's a few differences from the books. You'll recall in the books that the tunnel was built beneath the HS2 railway line. Well, there's no HS2 here. It's actually the Chiltern line. This tunnel has been around for years, but I guess it was a useful plot device. So we're moving towards it now. As you can see, there are lots of trees along the right hand side here. There's also a school over the wall there, which is where Josh hid during Man Out of Time. And it's also behind these trees where Dan hid in the same book, and that was when he jumped out of there to mug Josh and steal the tachometer. Now there's 1 or 2 people coming up and down here, so I'm going to try not to get them on the film because I'm not sure they want to be YouTube stars. See, these 2 trees just here would probably have been good ones for the place for Dan to go. So we're getting near to the tunnel now, and one thing that's very noticeable since I lived here is that this path is now much more overgrown than it used to be. These trees and bushes, normally you would be able to see the tunnel entrance from here, but we're just about coming up to it now. There's a guy walking along here, so I'm just going to move the camera away for a moment because I'm not sure if he wants to be a star of YouTube. So we are almost there, and one of the interesting things about this tunnel is I think it was after I wrote the book, somebody painted a sort of dragon style motif on it, which makes it look fairly menacing. It's also getting dark now as we get towards it, which you'll remember in the original book it was set during the autumn on the proverbial cold and wet and stormy night. And today's a bit of a heat wave going on, but you wouldn't know that down here now. It's actually quite cool. So here's the entrance. Lots of graffiti here. You'll remember in the original story that one of the reasons that the police came down here in the first place was to investigate some teenagers spraying graffiti on the wall. You can see there's quite a lot. They've actually filled the whole tunnel actually, so quite impressive. So we're getting now towards the centre of the tunnel, and about the point where, if you were travelling through time, I guess around about just here, you would vanish and move through to wherever you were going. Not that you'd probably notice while you're in here, because this place doesn't change very much. You can see the brickwork on the walls here. I'm just going to stand back to let somebody come past on a bike. So you'll recall Peter hid some documents in here to tell Hannah where he was when the global winter happened in global cooling. And so we're about the centre, and it would have been around about here, I guess, where all those years when Peter and Hannah were meeting up, this was where they would have been. They had a picnic here, and that's where their daughter was conceived, you'll probably recall. So I'm going to walk on now because there's nobody around towards the end of the tunnel, and it's very sort of, it's well lit at night, but this used to be my thoroughfare to and from the pub when I lived in Bicester, and it can be quite spooky at night time. So we're almost out the other end. There's no road here as there was in the book, which was where Adrian was waiting for Hannah when she was missing for 45 minutes. Just show you the rear entrance of the tunnel here, which is where you'll recall Josh and his brother bricked it up. So that's about it really. I've probably rambled on long enough. A last look there back through through the tunnel. I'll just quickly check around. It was 2022 when I walked through there, and it still looks like 2022. There's no futuristic gleaming buildings like there was when Josh came through here in the 22nd century. So that's about it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, because I recorded yesterday the first episode of my new Time Bubble podcast, which will be coming out soon, and I think you're going to enjoy that. It's based on the books. So that's it from me, and see you soon.